What is up, Rotogrinders? Welcome to another edition of FanDuel sponsored Crunch Time. I am your host, TJ Zwarich, ready to break down the small little 5-game slate. It's 5 games, right? Yeah, it's 5. I'm playing it like it's 4, so that's why I got a little confused. But joined by my guy, Shiver Me Timbo, Tasteful Tides, Tim Buell. How you doing?
You're only playing it as a 4-gamer, TJ. I can't imagine which game you're leaving off. I could guess one pretty easily. But yeah, this slate is it's just a 5-gamer. We at least finally got some little bit of value. But yeah, I would say that the main thing about this slate is that the value is very fragile. It's not exactly lock city territory for any of the value pieces.
We are still waiting on some pretty major news with LeBron James. I don't think this is a fake questionable. I think it's a real questionable. Not only is it an illness that he's struggling with, but it was his birthday yesterday. It's a back-to-back.
He's in. AD and
LeBron
LeBron
James
are in.
is in. There you go. Right at that moment. I thought he was going to be out. I was playing it like he was going to be out.
See, actually, I had the complete opposite take. I was like, we keep getting this stuff, and it's like they're always in. So it's like I'm done playing it. Like one of them's got to sit. So, but yeah, so that's that. I mean, we really the value on this slate is extremely fragile. I was hoping one of those guys would sit to get a little bit more value, but it didn't happen. So
it did not. But that doesn't mean that there aren't still some fun plays we can go to. We can still make some money tonight. And we'll start things off with FanDuel because Crunch Time is presented by FanDuel. Bet $5 on any money line. Get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. For new users in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Tim, why don't you start us off with a overview of the slate?
Yeah, like I was saying, it's definitely we have some really, really nice, expensive stud pieces that we want to play. But the problem is that who do we pair them with in terms of value? And value is very, very tough to come by. It's very fragile. We did get a little bit of news with Keldon Johnson being out, so Champagnie should be in the starting lineup. He's a cheap piece. We lost Drew Holiday, so that should open up a little bit of salary relief with Peyton Pritchard. Even though we don't have him projected to start, he should be the first guy off the bench. So yeah, but I mean, even a lot of these guys that we're going to mention tonight for salary relief are extremely fragile. So what I would do if I was multi-entering is getting overweight on the studs that you like the most, and then spreading out amongst the value pieces, because there aren't really any like super lock or really super steady values that I want to get. Like I would want to be like way overweight on.
Other than, to me, Peyton Pritchard, I got 100% Peyton Pritchard today. I'm playing 20 lineups, and I hit the lock button on him. I feel pretty confident in his minutes. I feel like a worst case scenario, he's going to play 20 to 23 minutes and have 20 fantasy points. And at a best case scenario, he gets extra run because this gets ugly, or he happens to close and he puts up 30 plus fantasy points. That was my hot take in the expert survey today. Is I think I said 38 fantasy points for Peyton Pritchard. Let's start things off with a cash build on FanDuel. Why don't you take us position by position, starting at point guard?
Yeah, so point guard, definitely a few different ways that you can go about it. Malik Monk is either going to be in your shooting guard or your point guard cash game on FanDuel. Maybe for the purposes of this, we'll put him at shooting guard. And then I think what I would do is I want to play SGA. That's who I want to play. That's who I think we should try to play at point guard. But I think that he's a little bit too expensive. So you might need to go down to either De'Aaron Fox or Ja Morant. So I think my lean would go Morant at point guard. and then do Monk at shooting guard, and then put Pritchard maybe at point guard too. I think he's definitely viable for cash. And then Derek White, I absolutely love tonight. Derek White is point guard, shooting guard. So you can like rotate those four pieces, I think. But you need to save at one or two of those spots at point guard and shooting guard. So, but if you do find a way to play SGA in cash that you're comfortable with, then I say go for that. I didn't personally find enough value that I could play SGA. So I don't know about what you think about that, TJ, but I think he might be just a hair too expensive for cash.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I just a little bit too tough to get there, I think. Strong tournament play, but even so, I'm still having a tough time getting there in tournaments just because we don't have the Lakers value I was hoping we were going to get. We really don't have much tonight. So especially on FanDuel where he's priced up, I'm definitely leaving him just at tournaments.
Yeah, I agree. So shooting guard, it's you're definitely playing Malik Monk here. I think that you could play Herb Jones at 51, Malachi Branham at 45. I think are all strong plays. Austin Reeves, even with Anthony Davis and LeBron both playing, I think that he's a viable option. There's no real expensive piece that I would look at. Like I'm definitely not playing Devin Booker in cash. I don't even think I'd play him in tournaments. Desmond Bain, I like that game environment, but I think he's too expensive for cash. I think the highest I would go at shooting guard is Jaylen Brown, but still, I prefer Derek White in this game.
Couldn't agree more. Let's take it over to the forward position. For what it's worth, when we get to tournaments, it's pretty much the same for me, position by position on both sites. The only thing is there's just like a couple other guys who are a bit cheaper on FanDuel, like a Lugens Dort, who I'd want to prioritize a little bit more. Maybe Sam Hauser I'd get to on FanDuel, not on DraftKings. But I'm going to go general tournament strategy for the first half here. And then after we do a DraftKings cash build, then I'll go position by position because it's really the same for me on both sites and in terms of how much exposure I would get. Tim, how about you take us to the forward position?
Yeah, so Jason Tatum is absolutely a great play. He would probably be like at a price point that I would be prioritizing. This game is obviously fantastic. But I think that I'm actually going to skip out on him in cash games because I want to play Sabonis at power forward. So you can't play like three high-end guys tonight. You can really only play two. So I'm actually not going to play Tatum in cash, but Champagny at small forward is a really good value you can play in cash. You can go down to Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, and Branham again, small forward. I think the most expensive small forward that I would play would be Brandon Ingram. I don't think I'd go any higher than that. I'd reserve all those other expensive pieces for GPPs. Power forward, Sabonis and Zion are the two guys that I really want to play. So they're both power forward eligible. And then I think those are the cash game plays tonight. I prefer Sabonis over Tatum. I don't know if our projections do or not, but that's just my take. I want to get into that game environment. I think Boston's going to just roll the Spurs. And I don't think necessarily Tatum has to be a part of a huge blowout and get like a huge score. So I'm gonna stay in the 1 point spread game of Sacramento and Memphis and play Sabonis. And then Zion is just way too cheap. So those two guys are definitely my favorite power forwards. And then center, it's pretty nice. Al Horford at 5,700, I think, is the top play for cash at center. Anthony Davis is obviously a great play, but I think he's a little bit too expensive. Again, I'd rather I'd rather play Sabonis. So, but Anthony Davis for tournaments is obviously fantastic. I think Nick Claxton for tournaments is fantastic, but Horford is the cash game play on FanDuel.
What do you think about if you land on Claxton in cash? You have the money to get there. Are you fine with that one? Because I didn't hate that build either.
I don't hate it. I'd like to know kind of what else I could do with that $1,400 though. That would be my only argument, because I think getting to a couple Boston pieces that are cheap that are going to play minutes is very important in cash tonight. So I know it's a good matchup for Claxton, but he's not exactly free anymore. So
I just worry about the potential blowout in San Antonio, and I feel like Horford would be the first guy that gets the yank there. But again, in cash, that's more of a tournament thought as opposed to a cash thought. He projects well. The ownership's going to be high. Plug him in. In terms of tournaments today, like I said, the position by position is going to be a lot of the same for me on both sites. The way I'm playing this, though, in tournaments, I'm lock buttoning Peyton Pritchard, 100%. He, to me, is the top value on the slate by a fairly wide margin. I want to get as much of him as I possibly can. And so, yeah, I'm lock buttoning Peyton Pritchard. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm cutting this down to a 4-game slate. I am playing no Orlando. I am playing no Phoenix. The only player I'm a little bit worried about, and I feel like you'd assume it'd be Kevin Durant or Devin Booker. It's not. The only player I'm potentially worried about missing in this game because we are lacking value is if Wendell Carter Jr. gets ruled out, I'd want to play Goga Batadze. So if we get that, we'll get that news. Obviously, it starts at the same time as the Sacramento and Memphis game. So I'll do some hand adjusting if Wendell Carter gets ruled out because I have so much Sabonis, and then I have a lot of Memphis players as well, a lot of other Sacramento players. I should be able to do some mix and matching still, and so I think that's how I'm going to be going about it today. Sorry, I feel like I keep. Maybe people haven't even noticed, but I keep stumbling on my words and breathing in and out here because I got some wild heartburn going on right now. Like it's just like, it's just coming. The one time I was bracing myself for the ad read, but I keep like getting caught, and I'm just like because it's too much holiday food. I turned 30, and now I eat a bunch of holiday food, and the heartburn is just like coming all the way up.
I thought it was because you were sweating your NFL ticket.
Yeah, honestly, it could have been. Maybe it's a little bit of that as well, but I haven't actually looked at the scores since we started the show. If you're playing hockey today, because that's what Tim and I do on the weekends, we throw some hockey stuff in as well. If you're playing some hockey today
on the weekends, I play every slate for the
but it's you and me on the Crunch Time show, so we add in some hockey analysis on the weekends when you and I are on.
Okay.
So I wanted to throw out there that. Carter Hart is not in fact starting. So if you were going to play Carter Hart in your lineups, don't.
I was considering it, but now I'm not going to.
I went with Sorokin, and I kind of wish that I didn't, seeing how chalky that he was. I really wish I would have gone. I was actually considering going with somebody like Montembeault today. Just really contrarian against a Tampa Bay team that's going to shoot a lot. But whatever. Click the button. Move on. Let's take it over to DraftKings. But before we do, check out the props and pick'em package we got over at Rotogrinders. It's all new, and it's coming at a special holiday discount. Driven by the Rotogrinders premium projections, our tool combs your favorite sportsbooks and fantasy pick'em sites to find you the best picks for the best odds. And for a limited time, you can get your 50% off first month off by clicking the link in the description below the video, right down there. Just give it a click, and you can get 50% off the props and pick'em package. Let's take it over to DraftKings, position by position. Talk to me who you're liking in cash, starting at point guard.
Yeah, all right. So DraftKings point guard. So SGA is way cheaper on DK. I think he is definitely cash game. He's only 10-3 on DK. So I think you plug him in your cash games on DraftKings because I think that you can get to him much easier than you can on FanDuel. So yeah, SGA point guard. Derek White, I absolutely love. So Trey Jones, I think, is possibly cash game viable, but I definitely want to go SGA point guard, then Derek White shooting guard, and then maybe I can add in like a Trey Jones at guard. But I think SGA is like a priority cash game staple on DraftKings. Shooting guard, it's Champagne. You can play at shooting guard or small forward. I think I prefer him at small forward because I want to play Derek White at shooting guard. You can also play Brandon Ingram at shooting guard. Obviously, the matchup for Boston is way better than the matchup for the Pelicans. So I'm going to I don't really care that they're 14-point favorites. Like, this matchup is really good. So I think the floors on these Celtics guys are just tremendous, and that's what you want for cash games. So Champagne is a value piece that I'm going to put at small forward, and then Derek White at shooting guard. Devin Vassell, I think, is decent, at least for tournaments. Same thing with Desmond Bane. Malik Monk is not as strong of a play on DK, but I still think he's part of the conversation just because of that game environment, and he's going to play minutes in the high 20s. So,
Coach Brown says he may change the Kings starting lineup Sunday.
Who would that be? Who would he take out?
Maybe like a Trey Lyles for Herter.
The first person I was thinking it would be Herter or Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, Herter, Barnes will definitely be the guys who get taken out. Maybe even both. In terms of who gets punched in, I would say maybe Trey Lyles. Who else would it be?
I don't really
that deep.
I really don't want it to be Monk though.
No, I don't either.
I mean, you want Monk to be you want Monk to run that second unit. You don't want him to be out there with all the starters. So I don't know. I don't know if this really makes much of a difference. I really hope it's not Monk, though.
I agree. I don't think it'll be Monk. I think it'll be one of Herter or Barnes. And I think Trey Lyles will be the guy inserted. Especially you consider looking at Memphis's lineup. They're going to start one of their centers, and they're going to have Jaren Jackson Jr. It makes sense to have two bigs out there, adding Trey Lyles. So he's somebody that I think I'm going to try and add in now as a value play to my pool that I did not have before.
Yeah, so
if for no other reason than I just want to keep spots open there.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so small forward on DK. Champagne's going to be the chalk cash game play. I think Herb Jones at 4,700 is definitely cash game viable. Brandon Ingram 7,900 is a fine play as well. Lou Dort, I think, is decent if you need like a last piece filler kind of piece. But I prefer Herb Jones over Dort. I think Chetty might get some run here. We haven't projected for 18 minutes, but I think that he might get into like the low 20s. Not a cash game play, but I think for like large field tournaments, I think he'd be a very, very strong play. So same thing as on FanDuel. Like I talked about Tatum. I'm not prioritizing Tatum today. I am prioritizing White and SGA on DK, so I can't get to Tatum. That could be a bad take, but Tatum's obviously a smash play, but he's not going to make my cash build. On power forward, Anthony Davis is a way better play than Jason Tatum, in my opinion. He's only $300 more. Zion Williams is only $7,800. He should definitely be in your cash games. And then Al Horford is power forward center. On DK, play Al Horford in cash at power forward. Don't use your center spot on him because Sabonis is center only on DK. So that's where I'm going to be playing Sabonis is at center. It's tough because it's tough to play like every single one of these guys that you want. I think that those two studs that I'm prioritizing are SGA and Sabonis on DK, but you could easily go Anthony Davis and Sabonis, or Tatum and AD, or Tatum and SGA. Like 2 out of those 4 guys should be in your cash game build. It's pretty hard to decide exactly which 4 that you want. Center, I already talked about it. Sabonis, it's AD for cash. And then you could get down to like Chet or Claxton or even Porzingis for tournaments.
Hoosiers Hang Banner says Lyles is a Canadian who high schooled in Indy, TJ. Oh, you don't have to tell me about Trey Lyles. He's not just Canadian. He is from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, like myself. So I know all about my guy, Trey Lyles, who is a friend of a friend who had a friend who went to preschool with him. So they were here from Saskatoon. Tolga says Boston has not announced starters. I have not seen Boston starting lineup anywhere, which is peculiar because that game is set to start in 17 minutes. But I'm guessing it's just going to be Sam Hauser for Drew Holiday. Like that seems like the pretty clear 1-for-1.
That's not what we have.
Well, we have Horford for Holiday, I guess. Hey.
Yeah, we have. Horford,
yeah, that makes sense. Horford, for Holiday. For what it's worth, though, I could see it being Hauser. I could see them switching that up on us, but we'll see. We still have some time. Hopefully, they give it to us. In terms of tournaments today, starting at the point guard position, like I said, I'm locking in Peyton Pritchard. I have 100% of them. Outside of him, I'm spreading it out between a pretty tight group. Josh Giddey, I think, is a great value today. De'Aaron Fox, one of my favorite spend-ups. Fox and Sabonis both, I just absolutely love today. SGA, I'm trying to get to him as much as I can, but I do like the mid-range better because Derek White is the other guy that I want to make sure I'm getting to a lot of. I'm sprinkling in some Malik Monk, and I'm sprinkling in some Ja Morant. I don't think we want to forget about Ja Morant for tournaments. We love that game environment. It's going to be a great spot pair. You can pair Sabonis with him. You can pair Fox with him. I think he makes for a really, really strong tournament play as well. Shooting guard, Pritchard, Giddey, White, Monk, these guys all transfer over. I'm getting to some Julian Champagny as well, but I agree with you. I'd rather play him at small forward. Desmond Bane, Brandon Ingram, Marcus Smart, all of these guys I think are totally fine. And Spencer Dinwiddie is the last guy that I'm getting to. We're projecting him for 1% ownership, small slate. I don't mind getting to a little bit of Dinwiddie as well in large field tournaments. Small forward is basically all occupied by Spurs. I have 55% Champagny and 40% Chetty Osman. So of my 20 lineups, that means I have one of those guys in 19 of them. I really feel like just one of those two should get the minutes and should perform well. And so I really like the idea of having one of the two of them in each of my lineups. I'm getting some Tatum, getting some Bane, getting some Bridges, her little Herb Jones, and a little bit of Austin Reeves. But for the most part, it's Julian Champagny and or Julien Champagny, as Champagny, as it would actually be pronounced. I got them in nearly 100% of my lineups. Power forward, I love Zion. I love Anthony Davis. Cam Johnson's great in the mid-range. I don't mind some Jaren Jackson or Rui Hachimura. This is actually a really strong position. Trey Lyles, I'm taking some shots on in tournaments. And another guy that I'm getting to a pretty decent amount of, believe it or not, it doesn't feel comfortable, is Najee Marshall. I'm playing a lot of Najee Marshall in tournaments. He's $3,400. And I think he should get most of those Trey Murphy minutes. We'll see a bump to a few different guys. Herb Jones will get a little bit more, but I think Najee Marshall could creep up for more minutes than we have been projecting.
We got Boston's starters, TJ.
Yeah,
and
White, Brown, Tatum, Horford, Porzingis. So it is exactly as we were projecting. This is funny. I love when somebody tries to aggressively make fun of somebody as they're doing something weird themselves. Brad Clayton and Chad. These guys don't know the Lakers have fake questionable tags. They aren't real Q tags. Well, for one, Tim, that's what you assume. But for two, Brad Clayton, I think you got to figure out how to press the live button because you're looking at the show about 20 minutes behind time right now, where that conversation was happening a long time ago, my friend. But anyways, power forward position, I like Najee Marshall. He's the cheapie that I'm getting a lot to. I think we could see more minutes than we're projecting for him. I like getting to him at 3,400. At center, Sabonis, Davis. Those are my two main priorities. Getting to some Claxton, getting to some Holmgren. The two cheapies I'm taking shots on are one, Larry Nance, and two, the guy that I like a lot better. He's a little bit more expensive, but I like him a lot in tournaments. And Tim, you actually brought him up in the YouTube chat already. It's Day'Ron Sharpe. Small slates. If Brooklyn gets blown out, we could get some really great Day'Ron Sharpe garbage time minutes, and he doesn't need too many minutes to have an absolutely smash game. So I like Sharpe quite a bit today in tournaments. That pretty much rounds out my player pool. We'll get to some.
Can I just ask you a question real quick, TJ?
Yeah.
Who do you have more of? SGA, AD, and Sabonis? Who's your
Sabonis 1?
Yeah.
AD 2 and SGA 3.
Okay.
And it's pretty clear tier. I have 40% Sabonis, 30% AD, and 20% SGA.
Yeah, it's so hard to like really figure out between those three guys.
Yeah, that's how I tier them. Sabonis would be my primary guy, followed by Davis. Third on the list would be SGA. But we'll take some QQs. I will look at the YouTube chat, but before that, I'm going to check the Rotogrinders live stream Discord. And of course, the Montreal Canadiens changed up their lineup, and they're changed up their lines, and so now I'm going to have to adjust my my hockey lineup. But looking at the live stream chat first, Tim, I'll throw this one to you. DK, GPP, last piece, Carter or Rui?
I think it's Rui.
Agreed. DK, GPP, Chetty Osmond or Najee Marshall. I would say if you already have Champagny in the lineup, it is Najee Marshall. If you don't have Champagny in the lineup, it is Chetty Osmond. FanDuel single entry, how many studs? I think you can get 2, but my preferred range is like the 8K and below of Zion Williamson and Derek White. Like that's my favorite range of spend ups today.
Yeah, I agree.
Who is your favorite spend up on for a FanDuel GPP? I think for me it's Sabonis.
Yeah, Sabonis is definitely number 1, but I think SGA is so expensive over there that if you can make that work, he's going to be extremely low owned.
Agreed completely. Going over to YouTube. YouTube, make sure you smash that like button. There are over 300 of you watching. We should be able to get an easy 150 likes. All we need you to do, as long as you want us to keep giving some shows on the weekend, for us to keep doing it, especially for these small slates, we need viewers. We need the likes. We need to be up there at the top of the YouTube algorithm. So keep smashing that like button. Get it up there. It should be an easy 100 plus for us today. Does wonders. Help us out. Thank you so much. Let's go over to the YouTube chat. We got Rui Hachimura starting. Somebody putting that up. Thank you for making sure the people are aware. Favorite cheap center on FanDuel. Could Cornette or Sharpe get some run tonight? I believe we were both on the same page. It is Sharpe. Sharpe is that guy that we're looking to go to today. Do you think Marcus Smart is viable in a FanDuel tournament?
Ooh, I didn't even consider that. How much is he? He's 56 on DK. He is no chance at 62 on FanDuel. No, thank you.
I agree, not on FanDuel, but I do like him on DraftKings a little bit. Not as somebody I'm playing a ton, but somebody that I like getting to a little bit. Who would be your favorite pivot off of Horford on FanDuel, similar price or cheaper? We both agreed Day'Ron Sharpe season. It's tournaments only, but that's who we're looking to get to. Not that many QQs today.
We got a DK, GPP, Fox, or SGA. It kind of depends on the rest of your lineup. Like if you have some Grizzlies on your team, go with Fox. But I think in a vacuum, I prefer SGA.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. I am getting myself a lot of Fox tonight. I got a single entry. You got AD or SGA in a single entry. For me, that's AD. How about you?
AD or who?
SGA.
I think it's SGA.
Who would be your top who is your top fade at high ownership today on FanDuel?
It's probably Tatum. I got to check his ownership, but I know that I'm fading Tatum. He is 25%, so yeah, it's Tatum.
What do you think about Jeremy Sohan on FanDuel?
I think it's okay. I would definitely have a couple Boston starters with that team.
DK GPP, K Bradley and Davis, or Sabonis and McCollum? Keegan Bradley. It took me so long to realize who Bradley was.
Keegan Bradley and who?
And AD or Sabonis and McCollum?
Sabonis and McCollum.
All right, going back to the Discord chat, Rui or Herb Jones in FanDuel Cash?
I'd go with Herb Jones.
Me too. Beal or Giddey in a FanDuel GPP?
That's tough. I was looking at both of those guys earlier when we had like really no value at all. I think it's Josh Giddey.
All right, that will do it for questions. Make sure you stay tuned for a little bit later. In about 40 minutes from now, Chief and I are going to be here for the NFL pre-lock show. We got a divisional matchup, big playoff implications, Packers and Vikings. And if you're making some lineups, use SimLabs, generate DFS lineups through the power of simulation. It combines data from every aspect of the slate to turn out lineups that match your preferences. In just a few clicks, you can have hundreds of well-built correlated lineups ready to go for whatever contest type you're playing. Be sure to check out the link in our description for more info. All Combo and NFL Premium subscribers have access to the NFL SimLabs tool. Do you think Vanderbilt could be sneaky for GPPs?
Yeah, I think he'll be sneaky, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to play him. So, but definitely he'll be low owned for sure.
D-Rock in chat asking, what's the scenario that Trey Lyles would be viable? And that's the Kings coach, Mike Brown, said that they might switch up the starting lineup today. If we get Lyles in the starting lineup, that would make him viable. Any hot takes or final thoughts before lock here, Tim?
I think Derek White goes for over 50 DK points. I know that's not super hot, but I really like him today.
And then finally, Tim, Evans is no longer on the second line for the Canadians. I need a $2,700 center. What should I do?
Oh man, I got to pull up our projections.
That's what I'm doing right now, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But we got that'll do it for the QQs. Make sure you smash the button on like button on YouTube for us on the way out. It looks like the guy maybe I want to go with is Sam Carrick, but he's only projected for 0.1 more points than Evans. I think I'm just going to leave it exactly how it was. Screw it, whatever. It's a $2,500 center. Who really cares? Like I said, make sure you're joining us for the NFL show in 45 minutes with Chief and myself. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. Good luck tonight. Hopefully you win some money, and we will see you shortly. Happy New Year's, everyone.